The Family Man. A glimpse that undoes the script. Jack Campbell says the quiet part out loud when he tells Cash, "I've got everything I need." The ego always says that right before the collapse. Because if a life is truly whole, there is no need to broadcast it. Peace doesn't announce itself on street corners. It just is. Jack is not at peace. He is successful. He is envied. He is curated. But he is not at peace. That's why he is alone in a store on Christmas Eve, buying eggnog he doesn't drink, walking home when a driver is paid to bring the car around. The unconscious has already confessed long before the mouth pretends to be satisfied. The walk and the eggnog are the crack in the script. Cash is just the one who steps through the crack. When Cash says, "You brought this on yourself," the ego hears condemnation, but the mind that is ready hears freedom. If this was done to Jack, he would be a victim of fate, of bad angels, of cosmic jokes. If he brought it on himself, then choice exists. Responsibility exists. Not the heavy kind the world sells, but the light kind that says, if I chose this fantasy once, I can choose against it now. This is where The Family Man stops being a Christmas romance and becomes a metaphysical intervention. Jack isn't being punished with a glimpse of a lesser life. He is being shown the truth about the one he already has. His original world is Hollywood's favorite religion. Fast cars, penthouse views, a body tuned for status, not sanity, a girlfriend with the emotional availability of a puff coat, a boss who worships ambition and tells him to forget the girl who used to matter because it's in the past. Everyone around him is hired by his ego to defend the illusion. The doorman, the building manager, the secretary, the colleagues, the women at the parties, even the decor in his apartment, all of them are paid extras in the story, "I made it alone." This is why he cannot tell anyone he hates it. Anyone he confides in has a vested interest in keeping the performance going. The more successful the persona, the more expensive the lie, and the more dangerous the truth becomes to the system built around it. So Spirit doesn't send him a therapist or a pastor or a self-help book. Spirit sends him a disruption. Cash is not there to fix Jack's life. Cash is there to shatter Jack's certainty about what life even is. He doesn't negotiate with Jack's story. He doesn't argue about whether Jack really has everything. He simply offers a different experience and warns him, "Just remember, you did this, okay?" A glimpse is not another timeline in the sci-fi sense. It is another interpretation. It doesn't prove that Jack could have had another reality in form. It proves that Jack has always had another teacher in mind. The family life is not the road not taken. It is the self he refused to let lead. Kate is that self in human form. At the airport years earlier, she begs him to flush the plan. "Let's start our lives right now. I have no idea what this life is going to look like, but I know that it has both of us in it." She is not arguing about London, law school, or Barclays. She is arguing about authorship. Who writes the script? The plan doesn't make them great. What they have together is what makes it great. Jack chooses the plan. He chooses the self that wants to be great in the world instead of the self that wants to share a life. The glimpse is not a new thing added later. It is the echo of that choice circling back when he is finally tired enough to see what he did. Hollywood sells the idea that the worst fear is missing out on the big life. This film quietly admits that the real terror is missing out on the real life and realizing it too late. That's why the most devastating moment is not the penthouse or the sports car or the office deal he loses while he is in New Jersey. It is the little girl who looks him in the eyes and says, "You're not really my dad, are you?" Annie is the holy detector in the dream. She is innocence that cannot be fully deceived by roles. Everyone else is willing to assume he is having a midlife crisis. Annie is not fooled. She sees that his energy, his confusion, his distance don't match the father she knows. And she does what the Holy Spirit always does in a confused mind. She tells him the truth without making him wrong. They did a pretty good job. It looks just like him. She acknowledges the form and refuses to worship it. The aliens did a good job making him look like Dad, but she knows he isn't. That line alone dismantles identity worship more cleanly than most sermons. Bodies can match. Faces can match. Roles can match. Spirit doesn't. Then comes the line that is really the initiation of the whole glimpse. Do you know how to make chocolate milk? Jack does not know how to change a diaper. He does not know school drop-off protocols. He doesn't know where the daycare is, what the dog's schedule is, or how to navigate Big Ed's tire shop without embarrassing himself. He doesn't know how to be a husband in this world, a father in this house, or a neighbor in this neighborhood. He knows how to make chocolate milk. And that is enough. Annie's question is the metaphysical principle in child language. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to fix the whole life. You don't have to understand the curriculum. You just need one point of willingness. If you can join at the level of chocolate milk, spirit can take it from there. The ego screams, "You're unqualified." The spirit whispers, "Can you pour? Can you listen? Can you show up?" In A Course in Miracles terms, this is the little willingness. The glimpse is not activated by understanding metaphysics. It is activated by surrendering to a simple act of joining. That's why the snow matters. When Jack finally begins to soften, what brings him actual joy is not a deal, a status symbol, or a performance evaluation. It is playing in the snow with his kids. Snow is useless by the world's standards. It doesn't advance his career. It doesn't build his brand. It doesn't increase his net worth. But it touches something that mergers and acquisitions never reach. The child in him, the part that felt before it calculated, the one who could laugh without strategizing what that laughter would cost. The glimpse gives him back an experience that his penthouse could never fake. And once he tastes it, he is ruined for the life he had before. This is why he never once says, "I miss my Ferrari," or "I miss my apartment," or "I miss my old job." He only says, in essence, "I don't want to lose this." He doesn't try to escape from the family life. He tries to escape back into it when it starts to slip away. The real heartbreak of waking up is not that the old life disappears. It is that the taste of truth makes the old life unbearable. By the time Cash comes back to collect the glimpse, Jack has moved from "I've got everything I need" to "I'm not going back." He begs Cash not to take it away, the same way the sleeping mind begs not to wake when the dream is finally sweet, even if the sweetness is temporary. Then the film does something most stories about alternate lives refuse to do. It does not let him keep both. There is no magical compromise where he gets the penthouse and the minivan, the Wall Street job and the Jersey house, the solitary ego identity, and the family he has learned to love. The family life dissolves. He wakes up back in his suit, back in his empire, back in the world where everyone thinks he has everything, and he knows now for certain that he doesn't. The miracle did not change the past. It changed his valuation. Once he knows what love feels like, the office is exposed as empty theater. He still goes to Aspen. He still moves the deal. He still functions inside the same system, but he no longer believes it is his home. That's why he goes after Kate again, this time not as the man defending his future, but as the man who has finally understood what was real all along. He doesn't ask her for a second chance at the exact same life he saw in the glimpse. He asks her for coffee. He asks her not to get on the plane. He asks for one more conversation in a present that hasn't yet been locked into his old choice. He brings the memory of the glimpse not as proof of destiny, but as testimony that a different kind of life is possible if they both say yes now. He is not bargaining with fate anymore. He is relinquishing the arrogance of believing he knows what success is. The ego loves stories about the road not taken, because they keep regret alive and responsibility out of reach. The family man quietly flips that. The road not taken is not London versus Jersey, career versus family, city versus suburb. The road not taken is love versus fear. Jack chose fear in a highly educated, socially rewarded way. The glimpse shows him what choosing love looks like in the most ordinary, unglamorous, unmarketable form possible. Laundry, diapers, soccer games, tire sales, chocolate milk. And somehow, at the end of all that, his heart finally knows the difference between having everything and being whole. This is why this film belongs at the front of a decade-long Christmas playlist for awakening. It doesn't just decorate the ego's life with lights. It questions what a life is. It doesn't just say family is better than career. It says presence is better than performance. It doesn't just romanticize sacrifice. It reveals that the only real sacrifice was love, and that love can still be chosen now. Jack's real shift is not from one external identity to another. It is from, I've got everything I need as a defense, to, I don't want to lose this, as a confession. Once that confession is honest, the spirit has him. Whether he gets the girl in Paris or not, something irreversible has already happened. He knows now that a life that everyone envies can still be hollow, and a life the world pities can be holy. And that the whole thing might begin with something as small as a man who is secretly empty, walking alone on Christmas Eve, buying eggnog he doesn't need, and meeting a stranger who refuses to believe him when he says, "I've got everything,